Hey guys, thanks for coming to Wednesday's math lesson. We are going to be doing multiplication this week. So let's get started. Please pull up this worksheet, either print it out, I've sent it to your parents, it's on Focus, and class tag it in their email, or you may use Nearpod to answer these questions. You can follow along with me, but before we start, I do want to let you know I will be doing this lesson live at Wednesday at 10 a.m. So go ahead to our document to get that Zoom link if you'd rather do it actually with me live so you can ask questions and work with our class. Then please come to that on Wednesday at 10 a.m. So we have done this before, and some of you guys are going to think this is super easy, and that is awesome. If you finish this and you were like, that was simple, that's great. That means that you really understand how to do multiplication, you know how to do the area model, maybe you know how to do it another way even, and you've got it. That is awesome. Some of us might really struggle with this. This might take a long time, and that is okay too. So let's work through it together. No matter where you're at, we're going to get through it. So let's look at the example here. I just wanted to do this to refresh your memory on what the area model is. So if you see here, we have the number 237 times 4. So 237, we need to break that number up by place value. Whenever we start an area model, we put the number in expanded form. We expand that number out. So it used to look like little 237, and now it's 200 plus 30 plus 7. We got those from the 2 is worth 200 because it's in the hundreds place. The 3 is worth 30 because it's in the tens place. And the 7 is just worth 7 because it's in the ones place. The other side was easy because it was only one digit. It's just a 4. So we know that 4 is in the ones place and it's worth 4. The next thing we do is we start at the box. I always like to start in this first box because it's usually the hardest because you're looking at the two biggest numbers here. In this case, this one's small, but if we did have another 2-digit number on the left here, that would be the larger number. So I like to start hard so that at the end it's the easiest. So here we do 200, what's on top of the box, times what's on the side of the box, the number outside the box, of course. 200 times 4 is 800. A trick when there's zeros like this is I just multiply the first 2 digits, 2 times 4, and then you add 2 zeros at the end. 2 times 4 is 8, add 2 zeros to get 800. Here on top is 30, to the side is still 4, so we have 120. And then here 7 is on top, 4 is on the side, 7 times 4 is 28. Now, if you are used to doing the traditional way of multiplying, so that would look like, let me just show you here. That would look like this. 237 times 4. And you are used to multiplying out. We are really doing the same exact thing that we're doing here in the area model. Here, you're going to multiply 4 times 7, right? That would be the first step. Well, that's what we do here. 4 times 7. 4 times 7 is 28. In this problem, you don't need to worry about regrouping in the area model. Here, you just put the 2 on top, just like in addition. Oops. Text. 2, 28, 8. And then you're going to do 4 times 3, right? Well, here you say, well, you didn't do 4 times 3 in the area model, right? We did. We did 4 times 30, and this problem here technically is 4 times 30. Yes, it says 4 and 3, but this 3 is in the tens place, right? So that 3 is really worth 30. 4 times 3 is 12. We need to add these 2 tens from 28 to get 14. 1, 4. And then the last thing we're going to do is 4 times 2. Well, really that 2 is worth 200. It's in the hundreds place. 200 times 4, 4 times 200, same thing. 4 times 2 is 8, add 2 zeros. So 4 times 2 is 8 plus 1 is 9. And just to show you that we got the exact same answer, to finish off that area model, you just add the products or the answers to your multiplication problems over here at the bottom. And when I added them up, I got the same answer. I got 948. So really, no matter which way you do it, I'm okay with it. I think it's really good if you know how to do the traditional way of multiplying. I think you will end up using that. But I do need you to know this way as well. So ideally, we're all going to know both ways and understand how they're related. So let's move on to our first problem. 468 times 3. So I've separated these out for you just to make things, simple. We have 468. We broke the numbers 468 times 3. We broke the numbers by place value. The 4 was worth 400, 6 worth 60, 8 worth 8. That's how we got these numbers in the boxes, and 3 is over here. Now we're going to do 400 times 3. I want you to think for a second, what is 400 times 3? What's 4 times 3? And then add 2 zeros. So 4 times 3 and add 2 zeros. Hopefully we know that 4 times 3 is 12. Then I see 1, 2 zeros that I'm going to put there. Okay, and then the top is 60, the side is 3. What's 3 times 6? And then add 1 zero. Three times 6 is 12, and then we're going to add 1 zero to get 120. Now this one, what's 3 times 8? 3 times 8. If you're not sure, think about what's 2 times 8, and then add 1 more 8. Hopefully we know 2 times 8 is 16. We add 1 more 8 to that, what would we get? 24. 3 times 8 is 24. Now we need to add these numbers, so we're going to go 1,200 plus 120. It's really important that the ones place is lined up when you're adding. If you don't line up the ones place when you're adding, you will not get the right answer. Okay, so this ones place needs to be lined up. That's the most important part of adding. I know adding we think of as easy, but we do make mistakes on adding, and that would be the biggest one. So let's make sure we're lining up that ones place, the last place, or the first, depending how you think about it. And now let's add. 4 plus 0 plus 0 is 4. 2 plus 2 is also 4. 2 plus 1 is 3. And 1 plus nothing is 1. So we have 1,344. I am just going to check and make sure that we have the right answer, because I don't have you guys with me to check on me. 1,004. Oh, I got 1,404. 3 times 468. Yep, I made a mistake. All right. I said 3 times 6 was 12. I bet you guys are laughing at me right now. What am I thinking? I shouldn't have done this video so early. All right, so what is 3 times 6? 3 times 6 is 18. I really hope you knew that and have been just making fun of me this whole time. So we've got 18 there, so let me go ahead and make this an 8 instead of a 2. So, and then 2, this is going to be a 0 now. So I got to erase this. So this is going to be 4 plus 0 is 4. 2 plus 8 is 10. 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 1 is 4. Oh, good, we got it this time. Hopefully you guys caught my mistake there. 1,404. So let's just put the answer on that line that says answer. And if you're doing this on Nearpod, definitely you don't need to show all the work on Nearpod. You can do the work on a piece of paper and then just maybe write the numbers in the boxes and the answer on the Nearpod, okay? So we got 1,404. Let's try again, number 2. 78 times 24. So this one is a little different. This is one of our like window boxes is what my class calls it. And here we just did the same thing, but there was a different amount of numbers. There was a 2-digit number by a 2-digit number. So the 78 we broke up to 70 plus 8, And then the 24 we broke up into 20 plus 4. So in this box, we do what's in the top times what's in the side. So 70 times 20. So first, what's 7 times 2? And then go back and add the zeros. We know 7 times 2 is 14. And how many zeros do you see? There's 1 0 in the 70 and 1 in the 20. So that is 2 zeros in all. So we have 1,400. Make sure to go back and add your comma when you're doing this. You do 1, 2, 3, comma me. So every time there's 3 numbers, starting over in the ones place, 1, 2, 3, you know the next space needs to have a comma. All right, I'm gonna go down here next. What's 70 times 4? 7 times 4, and then add a 0. So what's 7 times 4? If you don't know what 7 times 4 is, think about what's 7 times 3 and add 1 more 7. Or you could do 7 times 2 and then double that number. Let me explain. I know 7 times 2 is 14. So if I have 7 times 2 twice, 2 times 2 is 4. So we will have 7 times 4. So 14 times 2 is, do you know? I find 14 times 2 easy because I think in my head of 14 plus 14. That's what I'm thinking in my head. I don't even need to write it down because there's no regrouping. 4 plus 4 is 8. 1 plus 1 is 2, so you get 28. So that would be one way to do it, and then I'm adding 1 0 from the 70. Another way would be saying 7 times 3 is 21, right? I think a lot of us know that fact. And then if we add 7 more, we have 7 times 4 because we want 1 more 7. 3 sevens plus 1 7 would be 4 sevens. So 21 plus 7 is also an easy addition problem to do in your head. Look like crazy when I do that. So 21 plus 7 will be 28. Same thing. Here we're going to do 8 times 20. 8 is on the top, 20 is on the side. 2 times 8, I think we know is 16, and then add a 0 to get 160. Down here, we're going to do 4 times 8. This one you kind of know or you don't. This is a tricky one, but once you learn it, it's easy. So maybe you know 5 times 8, and you could take away an 8. You can add 4 8s. 4 times 8 is 32. So we have 1,000. Now we're going to add the numbers in the boxes. Don't forget this step. That's how you get the answer. The box isn't your answer. Your answer is when you add up what you get in the box. I like to put my numbers from greatest to least because it makes it, for me, the easiest to add. Let's add them up. Let's make sure I have all the right numbers and I did everything right. I don't want to make another mistake. This time I'm going to check it before. Okay. Draw a line. And we are adding. I think I forgot to put an addition sign this time. Sorry about that. So 2 plus nothing plus 0 is going to be 2. 6 plus 8 plus 3, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I got 16. So you guys got? 4, 5, 6. Add 4 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1. That 1 is from carried over from the 16. You get 8. And then 1 plus nothing would be 1. So we got 1,862. Let me just double check that. 24 times 78 is 1,000. Uh-oh, did something wrong. 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, I just added wrong. Silly me. Hopefully you again are laughing at me. I hope you are. So when you added these, what did you get? 8 plus 6 is 14, 15, 16, 17. So I made a silly mistake adding, but that's okay. That happens all the time. 4 plus 1 is 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 1 plus nothing is 1. Alrighty, there we go, 1,872, and that is the right answer, I promise. There we go. So I hope that you got that pretty easily. Now let's move on to the next one. Number 3. 47 times 96. This is another 2 numbers or digits by 2 digits. 47 times 96. So in this first box, like I said, I like doing this one first, but it really doesn't matter which box you do first. If you want to do the easy one first, you can. If you want to look at the numbers and see which ones you want to do first, it's up to you as long as you do every one. So here we have 40 times 90. So what's 4 times 9? 4 times 9. Maybe you know 5 times 9. You could take 1 9 away. Maybe you're going to have to add 9 4 times. Maybe you know 9 times 2, and then you could add 9 times 2 plus 9 times 2 to get 9 times 4. But I want you to find these multiplication problems, please. Don't just wait for my answers, because more likely than not, if you're struggling with these area models, it's because you don't know your multiplication facts, or because you just don't know how to read the boxes or understand what to put where. If you don't know what to put where, that just takes practice. Follow along with me, keep practicing, and we'll get it. But the multiplication facts, you've got to, kind of memorize those. You've got to be working on those, and it's going to be really important you know those in 5th grade. So if you don't know your multiplication facts, the best thing you can do right now is practice them for a couple minutes a day. It's a really, really, I don't want to say easy, but anyone can learn their multiplication facts. So if you're like, oh, I'm so bad at math, first of all, you're not. Second of all, I promise you can learn your multiplication facts if you just put a little time into it. It makes your life so much less annoying when you're doing math if you know your multiplication facts. So now I did that little rant. Hopefully we all have the answer. 9 times 4 is 36, and there are 2 zeros. So I'm going to add my 2 zeros, and then I'm going to go back 1, 2, 3, comma me. There we go. Now here we're going to do 40 times 6. What is 6 times 4? I know that 6 plus 6 is 12, and 12 plus 12 is 24. So I did 6 times 2, I got 12, and then I doubled that. That's how I, in my head, get my 4 facts. I don't have them memorized. I add quickly in my head. Now, and if you can't do that in your head, you can write it down too. The more we practice, the easier it'll be. So this one we're going to do 7 times 90. I like the 9s because I know the 9s trick. I've kind of do the 9s trick in my head. If you don't know the 9s trick, definitely check that out. I'm not going to teach it in this video, but it's really simple. You just, whatever you're multiplying by 9, you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Put your 7th finger down. This is hard to do. So then here you can see that I have 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fingers on this side. And then with my finger that's down, I have 1, 2, 3 fingers. I know that's hard for you to see, but maybe I'll make another video on that. So it is 63 because I put my 7th finger down. The 6 are on this side and 3 are on this side. Another way is 9 times 7. The tens place is always going to be 1 less than you're multiplying 9 by. So what's 1 less than 7? 6. And then the next number is going to be whatever you have to add to this number to get 9. So what plus 6 equals 9? 3. So it's 63. Hope that makes sense. But really, once you understand that, the 9s facts are super easy. And before I knew that, they were pretty hard. I have 1 0 in these two numbers, just in the 90. So I just put 630. And now I'm on the last one. What's 7 times 6? What's 7 times 5? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. And now add 1 more 7. 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. 42. Okay, now we're going to add our numbers. Let's add my line here, my addition sign, and let's do it. All right, 4 plus 2 is 6. I really hope I get this one right the first time. I want you guys to try to finish this one, please. Please finish adding. You know what, guys? We made a mistake. I can already see it. We didn't put a 0 here. And not we. We can blame me on all of the mistakes I'm making. That's fine. It's me. I understand. All right, so I need to now edit this text to make this number 240. And I don't like that it's not even now, but it's okay. At least they're lined up. So now this 6 is going to be something different. That 6 is going to be a 2. I'm glad I caught it before we added. Okay, so if you haven't already, update it. I'm sorry, I made a mistake again. This is why I miss you guys. I need you back. I'm making mistakes here. 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 3, 9, 10, 11. Six plus 6 is 12, 13, 14, 15. So 15. Okay, hopefully you've already finished. 3 plus 1 is 4. 4,512. Let me just check to make sure that that is the right answer. 96 times 47 equals 4,512. Perfect, we got it. Nice job, guys. All right. Now we're gonna go on to our last page for today. This one I'm going to have you do on your own. So I want you to solve this problem, but you can do it either way. I want you to, if you like the area model, use the area model. If you have learned the traditional way, either from your teacher or from your parents, then if you like it that way, absolutely do it this way. But I am gonna go over this one. So I want you to do it on your own. I want you to pause the video, and then I want you to come back and see if you did it correctly, okay? So pause the video, do it on your own, and now I'm gonna show you how to do it. This is the traditional way. Now, if you're good with the area model, it's almost too easy, you're like so bored, try learning this way now, okay? If you already know this way, make sure you're doing it right, because it's easy to make some mistakes on this way and on the other way. As you can see, I made a bunch of mistakes. So let's just make sure that we're doing it correctly. So pause the video, do it on your own, and then come check your answer with me. And I'm gonna give you the answer, so if you did the area model, you'll know if you got it right as well. But pause and do it on your own first. So I'm gonna do it the traditional way. The traditional way, I always line it up to the smaller numbers on the bottom. And you start with the bottom numbers ones place. So we're gonna do 3 times 1 is 3. Okay, now we're gonna do 3 times 4 is 12. So when we get a 2-digit number like that, we regroup just like we were if we were adding. And I'm gonna tell you what we're gonna do with that in a minute. So we have 12 there. Now we do 3 times 5 is 15. Now this 1 is on top. You add it to your answer. You don't multiply, you add it. I know it's weird, we're multiplying, but just like in division, how we use subtraction, in multiplication, we use addition as well to help us out. So we're gonna do 3 times 5 is 15, plus 1 is 16. Now, here is the hardest thing to remember for the traditional way, the normal way to multiply, it's this 0. So if you put this 0 here, I'm proud of you. You did it right. Awesome job. That's really what I'm looking for when I'm seeing if a student did this correctly. The biggest, most common problems are that students make mistakes by missing that 0 or by adding incorrectly. So we've got 5. We're going to multiply the 2 now. Okay, 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 5 is 10, and we're going to ignore this 1 because that was in our last round. We're not using it anymore. So 2 times 5 is 10. Now we add, just like in our area model we add at the end, we add at the end of this as well. It's a crooked line, but we're just going to deal. 3 plus 1 is 3. 2 plus 2 is 4. 6 plus 8 is 14. 1 plus 1 is 2. And 1 plus nothing is 1. And then I'm going to put a comma after the 12. So the answer is 12,443. So if you pause this video, the answer is 12,443. No matter which way you did it, that's the answer you should have gotten. And if you did the traditional way, yours should look just like mine. So I hope that that worked out for us. Let's move on. We're going to do two, I think, word problems. Yep. And then we are going to be done for the day. Sarah and Adrian were buying stuffed animals. Henry bought sorry guys. I'm gonna change this on yours and it's gonna say Henry on all of them. So let's just pretend that Adrian said Henry. Sorry, I wanted to change it to Adrian's name because it was someone in our class, but clearly Mrs. White made another mistake. I'm just on a roll today. Okay, Sarah and Henry were buying stuffed animals. Henry bought 13 stuffed animals. Oh, and I changed it to Sally too. Oh man. So we're gonna make Sarah Sally. I'm sorry, Sarah and Adrian. I was trying to make it fun and I guess I just have a typo here. So we're gonna make them Sally and Henry, but in my heart, it's Sarah and Adrian, just so that. I wanted to change the names to make it like our classes. Sally and Henry were buying stuffed animals. Henry bought 13 stuffed animals. Sally bought 12 times as many stuffed animals as Henry. How many stuffed animals did Sally buy? So Sally and Henry were buying stuffed animals. Henry bought 13 stuffed animals. That's important. So I am going to circle Henry and 13. And then Sally bought 12 times as many. That's our action word here, 12 times as many. And if you want, you can circle the 12. What does times as many tell us to do? I'm hoping you're saying multiply, because that is exactly right. It's telling us to multiply. So we need to do 12 times 13. Now on these problems, I'm going to say that you can do it however you like. If you like the area model, do the area model. If you like the traditional way, do the traditional way. Now for a moment, I just want to go over how I knew it was 12 times 13. Henry bought 13 stuffed animals. So you guys know I like to write in almost like little number sentences. So Henry equals 14. And then I know Sally equals 12 times Henry, 12 times Henry, right? And then I can fill in that H, right? Because I know what H is. H is 15. So Sally equals 12 times, not 15, 14. What am I doing today? It's 13, it's 13. Henry had 13. Okay, so 12 times 13. So Sally equals 12 times 13. That's how I got that. So I'm going to do it today with the area model, just because I just did one with the traditional way. And the area model is going to look like this. I knew that because it's 2-digit by 2-digit. So it needs to be 2 boxes by 2 boxes, just like a traditional window, 2 by 2. Now I'm going to break up the numbers. Please do this on your own if you know how. If you need me, you can, get my help. But if you already know how to do this, do it on your own. You don't need to listen to me. Okay, and then we have 10 plus 3. That would be 13. The 1 is worth 10. The 3 is worth 3. Now we're going to multiply. Pause the video, do this on your own, and then look at mine to see if you got it right. 10 times 10, 100. 2 times 10, 20. 10 times 3, 30. 2 times 3, 6. Now we're going to add them up. 100, 30, 20, 6. All right, I hope you've done this on your own and aren't just doing it with me. What did you get for your answer? Let's see if it's the same as me. I got 156. I'm going to ask that you guys circle your answer because I want to be able to see it pretty easily on your screen or paper, whatever it is. So I hope you got 156, and I hope you did it on your own. All right, and I will fix that question for you guys. William rides his bike every day. On the weekends, he rides his bike for 90 minutes each day. On the weekdays, he rides his bike for 30 minutes every day. How many minutes does William spend riding his bike each week? Bonus, how many hours does William spend riding his bike this week? All right, so let's start this problem. Let's mark it up. On the weekend, he rides his bike for 90 minutes each day. So how many days are there in the weekend? Saturday and Sundays are your weekends, right? So that's 2 days. So I'm gonna put 2 times 90 because I know that that's for the weekend. So I'm actually gonna label that weekend equals 2 times 90. On the weekdays, he rides his bike for 30 minutes each day. So how many weekdays are there? Because our question is, how many minutes does William spend riding his bike each week? So in a week, how many weekdays are there? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? The days we have school. So that would be 5. So we're gonna do 5 times, how long did he spend? He spent 30 minutes on the weekdays. So 5 times 30. And on this one, I'm gonna do the traditional way just to keep it even. So 90 times 2, these ones are, you could probably just do in your head, right? We don't need that much written down for this, but I'm gonna write them down just because. So this is a multiplication problem. 2 times 0 equals 0, right? And 2 times 9 equals 18. Now you also might have just done this in your head and done 2 times 9 and add a 0. 2 times 9 is 18, and add a 0, get 180. Now we're gonna do the same thing for 30 times 5. So 30 times 5. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 3 is 15. We got 150. Again, you might have done this in your head. You might have done 5 times 3 is 15, and then add a 0. That's awesome. So we have how much they did on the weekend, how much they did on the weekdays. We need to know all together. So let's add up those two numbers. We've got them lined up nice here, so we can just add them right there. Plus, that's a plus sign, if you didn't know. 0 plus 0 is 0. 8 plus 5 is 13. 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. So I got 330. So let me see if that is correct. Plus 150, 330. Good. Now, I'm not going to do this because this is a bonus. If you want to do this, I want you to do it on your own. This is 330 minutes. The bonus says, how many hours would that be? So how many minutes are in an hour? 60, right? So to get how many hours, you're going to have to divide 330 by 60. So if you want to do the bonus, you're going to have to do 330 divided by 60. Next week, we will be practicing division. So if you're like, whoa, I have no idea how to do that, no worries. We'll practice that next week. But if you want to give it a shot, go for it. I can't wait to see your answers. Okay, and that is all for Wednesday's math. Sorry for all my little mistakes today, guys. Hopefully I make less tomorrow. Thank you for coming and have a great day. Bye, guys.